Welcome to Sanding to Sailing. I'm Norm. Follow along as I refit my 1989 Com-Pac 27. Hi there. Today is going to be a fun job. I'm going to attempt to remove some of the old diesel that is in the boat. I think there's about 5 or 6 gallons down there, so I've got my trusty pump and we're going to try to extract that, and I'll keep you updated on how that goes. So here you can see the diesel tank, and you might be able to see that dark line on the bottom. That's where the diesel is, and so I'm going to try to get that out of there and figure out a way to clean that the tank as well, as long as I'm in here. And as you can see, the rest of this it's in fairly good shape, dirty, so I'm going to have to do some deep cleaning in here, under here as well, and figure out what all this stuff is. Seems to be working. Mission accomplished. Woo! Well, I got all the old diesel out, and it came out pretty cloudy at the end, of course. And so I will make sure this tank is cleaned, and then we'll put some fresh diesel in this thing and be ready to go. So there's the tank. I've got to reconnect that hose where I put my siphon through, and I'll be done with this project. Next will be to clean up this area down here. So here's a shot of the stuffing box in the Com-Pac 27. Traditional stuffing boxes are designed to drip slightly while the engine's running and the shaft is spinning, usually about 2 to 4 drops per minute, just to keep the packing cool and lubricated. When the engine's turned off, it should ideally stop dripping entirely or compress down to a very, very slow drip. If not, you sink. The Com-Pac 27 is equipped with a water heater. I've never had a boat that had this before. There's a short hose that comes off this nipple and seems to drain right into the bilge under the stuffing box. You can see that this 37-year-old hose is toast. I'll shop for a new one, maybe a bit longer too. Here's the fuel pump. Needs to be cleaned up some, maybe barkeeper's friend? The hoses look to be in okay condition for now. You know, I could get carried away with so many small little cosmetic projects on this journey. I've got to remind myself that my goal is to launch this boat in early August. Stay focused. Well, now that I've got the diesel out, I think I'll start on this project. This is the old compass, and as long as I'm looking at it, I'll probably replace the throttle as well. That looks kind of ratty and worn. So that's definitely on the list. This is the cowling that was on top of the compass. I don't know if it was homemade or what, but it's kind of beat up and not looking too good. So I don't know, we'll see what we do with that. Maybe I'll just get a new one, or try painting this one. Looks like that's what someone did. The old compass came out a lot easier than the new one going in. To my surprise, back in the day, they only used one wire to hook up the backlighting in the compass and then grounded the other wire to a bolt in the Edson. Also, installing this was, like I said, more of a challenge than I thought it would be. Lining up those holes in the pedestal was kind of hard, and it really took multiple tries. But hey, doesn't this look so much better? I'll paint that cover, but I kind of like the open look. What do you guys think? Well, good morning, everybody. So today is going to be a bit of engine stuff and other miscellaneous things. I'm going to work on the water strainer today. It needs a new gasket on the cap, so I'm going to measure that. It's a Perco, so I think it's pretty standard 2 3/4 gasket that I need to replace in it. The actual strainer looks to be in pretty good shape. I cleaned it and looks okay to me. So we're going to get some more measurements and try to figure out what we need. I actually found the gasket on eBay, 2 for $14. That should be arriving soon, and when it shows up, I'll peel out the old one and replace it. Welcome to the shores of Leech Lake, everybody. So today's mast day. I started to rerun some of the halyards. I took off some of the old rotten-ish halyards and threw them aptly in the dumpster. And so I'm going to run a couple new jib lines, new main halyard, and see whatever else is on this mast that needs to be replaced. Already replaced the masthead light the other day, so that is good to go. I still need to replace the steamer light here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might get something a little more updated with LEDs in it and stuff. So that's the name of the game. New halyards, not jib lines. Gosh, it was a long, hot day, guys. I'm also going to install a new spinnaker halyard, so stay tuned for that in a future episode. By the way, I must have picked off a dozen wood ticks while working on the mast. Northern Minnesota, don't you know? Get out that DDT, eh? So to make all those lights work, you need connectors. The rubber around the wiring plug on the mast as well on the boat were both rotten. I peeled them off with intentions of replacing both those connectors. However, I found that the new plug diameters were much smaller than the old ones. It'd be a real challenge to try to squeeze those thick old wires into the new little plug holes. So I'm going to opt to clean them up and use the old ones. I'll wrap them with some clear flex tape to keep them dry. Gosh, it was a couple long days working on the boat. The weather finally cooled, so time to enjoy a nice fire and relax. Thanks so much for watching this episode. Please follow along as I continue to refit Chevrolet. I'll see you in the yard.